how you can use AI to make money, save time, and be more productive. I need to ask you something before we even start, and I need you to answer it honestly. Not to me, but to yourself. When was the last time you felt ahead? Not just caught up, not just surviving the week, ahead. Like you finished everything on Friday and thought, I did exactly what I'm meant to do. I moved forward. I built something. I actually got somewhere. Hmm, hmm. If you can't remember, you are in the right place. And what I'm about to share with you over the next few minutes change that for me completely and permanently. I'm even faster than I ever thought possible. Just stay with me till the end because I want to take you back to a specific night in my life. It was 11:52 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I was sitting at my desk, not working, not thinking, just staring. The kind of stare where your eyes are open, but your brain has quietly left the building. On my screen, a half-written proposal for a client I genuinely like. In my inbox, I had about 94 unread emails, 7 of which I knew were urgent and had been urgent for 3 days. In my notebook, a to-do list that hadn't gotten shorter in 2 weeks. It had just migrated from one page to the next. The same tasks following me around like they were haunting my life. And in my chest, this is so heavy. Stinking feeling that I had been working so hard, even harder than I have ever worked. And somehow I was still very behind. Hmm. I remember thinking I am doing everything right. I am disciplined. I am very organized. I showed up every day. So why does it feel like I am running on a treadmill that keeps pending up and I keep almost falling off? Have you ever felt that feeling where effort and outcome have completely disconnected? Where you pour everything into week and somehow end up with less than you stated. That night, I made a decision, not a big dramatic one, quite exhaustion, and I tried something I had already written off. A few months earlier, someone had told me to try ChatGPT. I did. I asked it something forgettable. I got something mediocre, right? It rolled my eyes and I closed the tab. Overpaid, I thought, not for real work. So, but sitting there at 11:52 p.m. with nothing less to lose and everything left to do, I opened it up again and I typed almost sarcastically. I just said, help me write a project proposal for a marketing client in the wellness space. Here is what I know about them. And then I just dumped everything I knew, messy, unorganized, half-formed thoughts. The kind of thing you have write in your notes before cleaning it up. So 11 seconds later, I had a draft, a perfect draft, but a redraft. A structured, professional, compelling draft that had an introduction, a problem statement, a proposed solution, and a timeline, and even a closing in 11 seconds. So I sat there reading it, and something strange happened. That tight, heavy treadmill feeling loosened up. I spent the next 20 minutes refining it, personalizing it, and making it mine. Then I closed my laptop quietly. I went to bed and I slept like a person who had solved something huge. You know what I mean? I sent the proposal the next morning. The client responded within an hour. This is exactly what we are looking for. When can we start? And that's how we closed the deal. Hmm. But here is the part that matters most. It wasn't the deal. It was what I understood in that particular moment, sitting at my desk at the midnight, watching a machine produce in 11 seconds what would have taken me more than 5 hours to do. I understood that I had been carrying a weight I was never supposed to carry alone. And for the very first time in a long time, I put some of it down. That was the beginning of everything I'm going to teach you today in this video. But before I go on any further, I have to say something because what I'm about to spend the next few minutes walking you through, this is not surface level stuff. I am going to give you a list of 10 apps and send you home. I'm going to show you how to fundamentally change the way you work using AI to make real money, reclaim your real time, and build the type of productive life that right now might feel completely out of reach. And I know that sounds like a big promise, right? So let me take you or make you a reward. If you stay for this entire video, if you actually apply what I shared with you next 30 days, you will look different than your last 30 days. I'm not guessing. I have watched it happen for myself, for people I have coached, and for people who have messaged me saying I didn't even believe it until it happens. If you are new here and this is the first video of mine you have ever watched, I want to tell you what this channel is actually all about. This is not a tech channel anyway. This is not a hustle channel. This is a channel about working like a human being in a world that is changing faster than most people ever realize, and coming out on the right side of that particular change. So every week, I always bring you real strategies, real stories, real tools, tested, applied, and delivered straight. And if that's what you're looking for, the subscribe button is right there. So hit it and turn on your notification bell because what I'm building here weekly, you don't even want to miss the next chapter. Okay, you're in, right? Good. Let's build something. There's a story I think about a lot. In the early 90s, there was a man named Frederick Winslow Taylor. Yes, Taylor was an engineer, an obsessive, methodical, and he believed that most workers were working inefficiently, not because they were lazy, but because they hadn't been shown a better way. So he went into factories with a stopwatch. Stopwatch. He timed everything. He studied every movement, every process, every step. And then he redesigned the way work was done, whereby eliminating waste, streamlining efforts, matching the right task to the right person. He called it scientific management. And it causes a revolution, not because the workers suddenly become more talented, not because the factories got bigger or fancier, but because someone finally looked at the system and said, what if I did this differently? Yes. We are living through that moment right now when you need to do things differently. Except instead of a stopwatch, the tool you need is called AI. And instead of a factory floor, it's every desk, every laptop, every phone, every creative and business professional who is still doing things the old way. Not because they are lazy or unambitious, but because nobody showed them a better system. Now, here is the honest reality of where we are right now. The people who understand and uses AI well are not smarter than you. They are not working harder than you, right? They are just simply operating with a different set of tools. And that difference is what is compounding every single day of their tasks. It's like the differences between rowing a boat and having a motor. Okay, one is manually while the other one is automatically. But both people are not on the water. Both people are moving, but one of them is going to arrive somewhere completely different by the end of the year. I don't say that to scare you anyway. I'm just saying it because the boats with the motto we do well or we arrive faster. The seat is still open and this video is the motto. So if you're ready, let's ride together. I want to tell you about someone else I know. I called him Danielle. Daniel told me that I could share this. Daniel was 34 years old. He had a full-time job in HR at a mid-sized company. Good job, stable, quietly getting on the side. He had been helping small businesses with social media for a few years. He loved it, the creative work. He also loved seeing his client grow. He loved that it was he doing them, but he had a ceiling and three clients, about $900 monthly on the side, and no room to make on more because every client took roughly 10 hours a month of his time researching, writing, digging, scheduling, and reporting. So 30 hours a month already gone. He had a life, he had limits, so he stayed at just three of them and quietly wondered if this little side thing will ever become something real. One Saturday, we sat down together at his kitchen table. So I opened a laptop and said, walk me through exactly what you do for a client from start to finish. And he did. And for 45 minutes later, I showed him how to rebuild that entire workflow using AI as its production engine. We still had the 30 minutes monthly call with each client. That stayed. But because that was the human part, the relationship, the listening, the understanding of what they actually needed. And everything after that conversation, he ran it through AI. He recorded the call, transcribed it automatically. He used Alter.ai for that and feed the transcript to an AI tool with a prompt like, based on this particular conversation, write 30 social media captions for a small wellness brand. Also mix educational posts, behind the scene and promotional content. Warm conversational tone, not corporate. In about 3 minutes, he spent an hour reviewing, adjusting, making it sound like the brand. Then schedule it and move on. What had been 10 hours per client now became 2.5 hours for that particular project. So he went from 3 clients to 5, then 8, then 11. 7 hours, same the triple the income. 6 months after the Saturday at a kitchen table, Daniel left his HR job. Not because he quit on a career, not because he built something better than what he had. And the thing that made it possible wasn't some secret formula or startup capital or even a lucky break. It was just a shift in how he worked. Now, let me show you exactly how you can do what Daniel did in whatever context fits the life or your job. I'm going to walk you through slowly 5 specific ways AI is generating income for real people right now, not the theory aspect of it, not maybe someday this might work now. If you offer any kind of service like writing, design, social media, marketing, consulting, coaching, admin support, AI is your productive multiplier. The math is simple. If AI makes you times 3 faster on every deliverable, you can serve times 3 the clients at the same rate or even deliver twice the value per client and charge twice as much. The skill that matters here isn't knowing AI perfectly. It is knowing your crafts well enough to direct AI and recognize when it gets it right. Then you provide the judgment. While AI provides you the attribute, you refine and you deliver to your clients. That's all you need. And this is one of the most underrated income stream of the decade, like templates, planners, workbooks, ebooks, Notion dashboards, Canva kits, mini courses, resource guides. These are things you create once and sell infinitely. And AI has dramatically compressed this creation time. What might take you 2 weeks to write and design from scratch cannot take you a long weekend. And platform like ST, Gumroad, and even Stan stores let you sell this with no inventory, no shipping, no overhead. I know someone who sell a $17 budget planner on ST. She sold it over 4,000 times. She made it in 3 days using AI to draft the content and Canva to design it. That's about $68,000 from a 3-day work project. Yes, that is only what AI can do. Let's talk about YouTube, blogging, newsletters, podcasting, LinkedIn. AI makes it possible to show up consistently at a level of quality that used to require a whole team as a solo creator. Like scripts, research, show notes, your titles, your descriptions, thumbnail briefs, repurposed clip turn into articles, social posts. These are called the content flywheels that used to require 5 people. You can now run it now with just only one person with AI using a good prompt. And when you pair that content with ad revenue, sponsorships, affiliates, or your own product, you have a media business. So most of all this media has been saying that has been running can be run by just an individual. The newsletter economy is real, and AI has made it more accessible than ever. Just pick a niche you understand, curate the most valuable information in that space, add your own perspective and insights. The human layer that AI cannot replicate. Make sure you take note of this. Deliver it consistently, a 5,000 subscribers or even less. Newsletter in a business niche can earn $2,000 to $5,000 a month through sponsorship and affiliate revenue. A 30,000 subscriber newsletter. We are talking life-changing money here. AI has handled the research, the drafting, the formatting. So you just handle the curation, the voice, the relationship with your readers. Yes. If you want to try that out, drop a comment in the comment section so that we'll discuss more on that. Now, here is the one that surprised people the most. The gap between people who understand AI and people who don't. Inside companies, in small businesses, even across entire industry, there are people who are growing. And if you spend the next 6 months genuinely learning and applying AI in your work, you will know more than 90% of business owners about how to actually use these tools practically. That knowledge is what we money. But because people just come across it online, they don't value it. Workshops, consulting done all for you by AI, implementation, even training your clients, team building, AI powered system for businesses that don't even know how people are charging. People are charging $200 to $500 an hour for this right now. The credential isn't a degree, it's the results that you get out of it. So I want to paint you a picture. Now, let me just analyze this for you. Imagine it's Thursday afternoon, and instead of being at your desk, buried in email and half finished tasks, and the low grade anxiety of to-do list that never ends, you are somewhere else. Maybe you are at your kids' school event or at the gym or at even the coffee shop with a friend. You keep rescheduling or just home early, actually present. And here is the detail that matters most. You are not behind. Your work is done. Your clients are taken care of. Nothing is on fire. You are just living. Yes. And that's not fantasy. That's what happens when you identify the tasks that are stealing your time and you stop doing them manually. I call this the execution task. Yes. The execution task is all the time you need spend on the mechanical part of your work. Those stuff that isn't really your work. It's just the overhead that surrounds your work. Writing routine emails, summarizing documentations, and even reformatting content for different platforms. Researching topics you have known, scheduling and also planning and organizing, even doing your follow up. All these are the things that AI can do for you in just minutes. So none of these things require you specifically. They require a competent, intelligent assistant who can read, write, think, and remember contents. AI is that assistant, and unlike any human assistant, it's available at midnight. It never gets tired, and it's not going to call you in sick, or it's not going to call in and say, I am sick, I will not be coming on Friday, I will not be available. Let me just tell you what reclaiming that task looks like in real life. If you want to reclaim all the lost time, what most professionals do, they email in their black hole of the workday. And it's not the reading that kills them, it's the writing. Trying to find the right words, trying to be diplomatic without being soft, trying to be direct without being cold, trying to respond to the passive aggressive clients, not without accidentally starting a conflict. It takes energy, refinite precious energy, the same energy you need for your most important work. Here is my system now, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. Yes. For any email longer than 3 sentences, I write on one line about what I want to say, the context, the tone, the outcome, and I let AI draft it. Just one line. Email to client. Delivery is delayed 1 week due to vendor issue. Apologetic but confident. include proposed new timeline. 15 seconds later, a professional, warm, clear email is done. I read it, make 2 small edits, and send. I have calculated conservatively that this saved me about 45 minutes a day. 45 minutes a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. That's 187 hours, nearly 5 full 40 hours work weeks. So you just quickly return to your life just from email. Now,